Hey, now you can hear me. Yeah, it's a little earlier today. We got it at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is still late in the morning, but you know, take what you can get. Um, my sandwich is on the bread ends today, so it's going to be a little messier. Yeah, I had a long weekend, and I expected that to mean that I would, you know, be able to fall asleep or be able to get myself to sleep. I feel like I probably could have gone to sleep maybe 7:30, and then that didn't happen because I got home and I started like watching stuff on. I was watched the new episode of Harmon Quest, which was a good episode, and I watched some Fairy Tale. And I continued to watch Fairy Tale because there's an infinite amount of that. And then like 11:30 came around, and I laid down for bed, and then I watched some stuff on YouTube. I think I got to bed at like 1:30, but better than 3:30. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird threshold because like if I don't if I don't put anything on, then my mind wanders, and that can happen perpetually. Um, but if I put something too exciting on, I'll watch it all the way through. And so I have to find something that's like a little bit monotonous, and I also have to be like perfectly tired enough. It's a whole process, and I'm not good at it. I don't understand how people fall asleep so easily. I can only fall asleep when I'm not supposed to. But I'm at least being consistent. Last semester, in the or not summer semester, but in the spring semester, I gave up. I started going into the lab and stuff, doing all my work from like 4 to 8. And the thing was like, I was completely successful with it, but I don't get to talk to anybody. um, I mean, it has its perks because if there's nobody in the lab, then it's super quiet and I can actually get stuff done. But at the same time, like I have to make sure that I can talk with my professor and see what he wants me to do. If he wants me to do anything different or or prioritize something. So it's something I have to keep in mind. And I think I'd benefit from just waking up earlier because the problem is that when my sleep schedule gets late, it stops becoming like a guiltiness if I stay up like an hour later than I did. So then 3 o'clock becomes 4 o'clock, and once I'm fine with 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock becomes 5 o'clock, and um, and then like the normal like I can't fall asleep because I'm excited about what's happening tomorrow becomes I can't fall asleep until it's 7:30 in the morning, um, and then I get like 30 minutes of sleep before something important. So it's better if I invest now and figure out how to fix my sleep schedule. And this is helping because I was thinking about streaming in the morning. Um, I did wake up at 7:30, and to be honest, I felt kind of awake at 7:30. But I thought to myself that I only got like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and that if I want to be productive through the rest of the day, I should probably get an hour or two more, which that happened very easily because it's a lot easier to fall asleep in the morning when it like slows down my day. I can only fall asleep if it's a detriment to me. But yeah, busy weekend. Saturday was a wedding, so congrats to my cousin Lindsay and her husband Dell. Um, and then Sunday I went to Epcot, which that might sound super exciting for a lot of people, but I have an annual pass, so I go a bit. Um, and I mean, it was still exciting. It was still fun. I hadn't gone in a while. I don't have the super all powerful annual pass. I just have the base level annual pass, which, well, I guess it's not the base level, but whatever. It lets me go to any of the parks I want as long as it's not a blackout date, which they get you because all the times that are like popular or big events are going on, there's blackout dates. Um, so like I can't go around Christmas time, and I can't go in the peak of summer, which is like July. But now that it's August, there's no more blackout dates until December, or there might be some around Halloween. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that was fun. The wedding was pretty nice. I got to dance a lot, which I I was always a weenie about that. I was always like, oh, I don't want to dance. That's weird. But then like I'm getting to that point where I'm just like, I just want to have fun. I don't care what I look like. And I want to get better at dancing. I think that'd be cool to just be able to like let loose and know that I also look cool. But in the end, it doesn't really matter about that. It's more about having fun and enjoying the music. Um, I've been consistently doing Fortnite with Mitch and Dustin, so that's up on. Actually, he has his YouTube channel up. And he's been posting the highlights of those. Um, but I think I've got a bunch of football drafts or fantasy football drafts coming up this weekend. So we had to probably gonna play again on Wednesday night on his stream. And he was talking about like trying to do a challenge video or something together. So we'll see if we can organize that. I still got to figure out what settings I need to do so that I can. I think recording and playing isn't that bad. It's just if I try and stream the game while recording, if I try and stream the game while playing, it drops a lot of frames because for whatever reason, it is a big toll on the internet. But I think the last time I did that was I on the fast internet? I think we technically had the same internet, but it might be a little bit faster here. So maybe it can handle it now. Even though the game itself, running on my laptop, will drop frames. But, I mean, I don't claim to be perfect. He's got the benefit of running it on a console, so the console's pretty optimized. But yeah, we went to Epcot. Um, rode the Frozen ride, and I hadn't gone on it yet, just because every time I've been there, it was just like super long wait times, and since I have the annual pass, you can always just come back. It's not really worth it to wait in like a 3 hour line for something that's gonna last like what 5 minutes. Um, but yeah, so they with the animatronics now, they still have the movement and everything being fully mechanical, but then the facial expressions and the eyes are all projected from like tiny holes in the wall. So it looks really cool because it looks like the actual animation in the movies and stuff. But every once in a while that'll fail, and it's super scary when it does. Because like there was one room where Olaf, the snowman, his eyes were broken. Like the projector wasn't projecting anything, and the base that they have for the projection screen is just black. So there's this tiny little snowman singing cutesy songs, gliding around with just black circles, and it was super creepy. And I can't imagine some parents bringing their kids through that and them having to see that. It was scary. But no, it was a cool ride. And then we did the test track, which I've done a bunch, but it was my friend's first time. And test track's cool, but because you get to like, hello, you get to design a car, and then you get to ride in the car around the test track. You ride in the same roller coaster cart kind of thing, but I think it adjusts itself for the stats that you picked. So if you make it faster when you're making a car, then the cart itself goes faster. I think, not sure, because that could just be something that is a rumor that makes the thing sound a lot more interesting. Oh yeah, at the wedding. So at the end of the wedding, at the end of the reception and everything, uh, the family was like telling everybody that there was a bunch of food left over, and that there was a bunch of beer and other alcohol left over. Oh my god. Excuse me. Hey, Evie? Hey. We had a little chat, and she's gonna try her best. So yeah, they had some food and alcohol left over, and they said that everybody should just take some if they want some because they don't have any plans for it. They were just gonna like toss it if nobody takes it. And I was like, all right, I like free food and free beer and stuff. So um, I'm sitting there filling up. I was grabbing some of the like free floating beers and stuff that they had and putting it into a random empty box that I found. Um, and then uh, they were saying that they turned to me and said there was some like peach vodka in the fridge, and I'm like, I mean, why not? I guess we can just have it sitting on the counter, if nothing else. And I look in the fridge, and there's like a fifth, which is a tiny bottle, and there's a handle, which is massive, and the fifth was open. So like the cap was unscrewed and then screwed back on, so it wasn't like a perfect seal. And I was like, guess I can't take an open bottle. So I grabbed the whole handle and shoved it in the box. And then I hear from the back that my sister wanted some of the peach vodka. And so I was like, oh yeah, there's another bottle in the fridge. So she got the smaller one. And I don't think that she knows that there was a bigger one. But, but yeah, that's sitting on my counter now. And then there was just a bunch of random stuff. My favorite I really like IPAs, which that makes me sound like I'm some sort of hipster kind of person, but I just like having more bang for your buck, to be honest. um, and so I've ended up acquiring that taste, even though most people hate it. Um, but there's a brand called Sweetwater, which is one of my favorites, and specifically among them the Going Coastal, which is like they have like pineapple flavor in with the beer. That one's my favorite, and they had that at the wedding, so I was like, nice. Um, so I got to take a couple of those with me. But I mean, those ones went fast. Like you can buy like infinite amount of Yingling and always have an extra uh, laying around. But with other ones like the craft beers and stuff, they tend to go pretty fast. Um, yeah. Mm. There's the mess. Mm. Still got peanut butter? No, we're good. Sure, I could get Evie to come in here and she would clean me up real fast. But that's taboo. Um, I'm kidding. I'm gonna have to see how how this semester plays out. Because I'd like to get back into things with making videos and whatnot, but I really can't prioritize that if classes are taking more time, and I don't want to overstress myself. Which the problem was when I was overstressing myself, part of the stress was that I didn't really have like a creative outlet. Um, and so that's bad. Like if I stop practicing guitar, that's usually a terrible sign. Like I am way down in a hole somewhere in my mind because like I mean it's sitting right there. Like it's in out in the middle of my room. And if I'm not randomly grabbing it and playing it, then that's yeah, that's not a good sign. There's little signs that'll tell me that I'm not in a good place. Like when I'm super stressed out, I will just leave the laundry for like an entire laundry cycle. It'll just be on the floor, and then usually I run out of boxers before anything else, and I'll run out of boxers in the pile on the floor, and have to do another load of laundry, and like that's just that's like oh I'm probably stressed out if I see that. But it's weird that I have to think about it that way because like psychologically you set up uh, defense mechanisms that are like, oh no, you're fine, like don't think about it, and then you start seeing the signs in third person. You're like, oh, maybe let me take a step back here. Um, yeah, there's definitely some stuff I gotta play around with. I really, really want to work on my game. I just don't get around to it. I'll get home and I don't think about it. And the times that I do think about it, then just aren't opportune to jump on. I don't know that I'm necessarily gonna work on it on stream as much. I might. I don't know if it gets me to work on it, then I'll do it. But problem is, um, talking talking things out is good for getting a plan, But once I have the plan, I just want to sit there silently and knock it out. Because I will. I'll just forget about eating, and knock it out in like however many hours it takes. I've sat for like 12 hours coding before. Um, but uh, the getting on stream and just talking to a camera, even if nobody's watching on the other end, it does help me like clear my thoughts a little bit. So um, that I think the stream will probably see more of the brainstorming sessions when I actually get around to it. Which the most recent video was one of those. It was just kind of like a taking inventory of what needs to be done. Um, and so I don't necessarily need to do one of those because I can just rewatch that and figure out where I'm at. Um, but yeah, I need to do some work on it. And I wish there would just be a little bit of following from like people that want to beta test it. But I know that I'm not putting a bunch of money into it to advertise or anything. I've advertised when I had free advertising credit on Facebook, which that was cool because that actually got somebody to buy it. Um, and for those of you who don't know, my game is free, so people download it all the time. But there's an option to name your own price, and someone had done that when I did my advertising 30 days or whatever. Or not 30 days, it was $30. And $30 goes fast. Um, yeah. That person paid $1 for my game, and then Itch.io took 10 cents, and then PayPal took a fourth of what was left, which left me with 67 cents. And then I felt more proud about those 67 cents than I did about my entire paycheck at work for that month. It was kind of a weird feeling. But I still have those 67 cents because I don't touch my PayPal account. So, um, I don't think there's too much else to say. Um, didn't finish the breakfast yet, but I've just been talking, so had to go talk with the dog too. Probably gonna sign off. I don't usually do it too long, past 20 minutes, which I guess the first one was like 28, but I'm not setting a precedent for this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm sure either I'll start to do this more consistently or it'll just stop altogether. But I'm hoping I can get this more consistent. Just I'm hoping I can get the waking up early more consistent. But this is supposed to help. And yeah, if you feel like watching this, it's streamed on Twitch on random mornings at random times. So good luck. But there's a notification button if you really want to. Um, and then I've been posting them to YouTube as well, so you can watch them over there. But it's more for me at the moment. So if it gets views, it gets views, but that's not really important to me. And yeah, thank you for watching if you did, and I will catch you next time.